Joe Robine of American Cane Self-Defense for Cane Masters. Today we're looking at the most powerful move for walking cane self-defense. There probably isn't the most powerful single move. Stay to the very end because I am going to share what I feel is the most powerful, but I'm going to give you now in terms of physical application, what I'm going to give you are the characteristics and then give you certain examples. And the first of those is that move, the most powerful move for walking cane self-defense, is the move that your opponent cannot stop. It's usually the one that he cannot see coming. So that's going to be the first criteria. So when you're thinking of cane self-defense techniques, there's a hierarchy there. These are the criteria. Number one, is it something that he doesn't see coming and it makes it nearly impossible for him to stop? Number two, it should take into consideration that the cane as a tool for self-protection is an impact tool. It's a tool that seeks bone. And when you don't treat it as such, you get in trouble. Number three, the idea is to incapacitate, not necessarily to destroy. And the reason for that is because you live in a society that's governed by laws, and we've never been, not at American Cane Self-Defense and not Cane Masters, telling you to mindlessly whack anybody in the head or anything like that. We're very conscious. The idea, we're trying to avoid and prevent a fire, a situation. If we absolutely cannot prevent it, we're going to want those skill sets to kick in a timely fashion, bypass your freeze response so that you can respond appropriately to save your life or that of someone that you might be protecting. So taking that criteria into consideration, let's take a look at what we're talking about. So it's a tool of distance, and you know the cane is the average is about 36 inches, and now you're reaching out and you would like to maintain that distance. So that's going to be the first. And again, stick around to the end because I'm going to give you a perspective here of what truly would be overall the most powerful. But here we have this sailing. This is not looking good for me, and this is already too close. As a matter of fact, if it were this close and look at this guy's size, why are my hands down here? And you're walking around with your cane this way. So one of two things: either I'm going to draw back, and then this cane is going to come up here. See? Because I don't trust myself in being fast enough when he lunges in. Now I got to come from down here. I'm not going to make it. So the first thing is a very simple, if you see that trouble is brewing, a simple step back and perhaps bringing the cane from here to here, right? Or even coming up here, see that? But I create my distance. Now, how is it gonna work? Using that criteria, go back to that. What's what he doesn't see coming? Well, if I'm looking at him here, and I'm dealing with him here, and he decides to lunge in whatever way. When I move out, see, the cane is going to go, and I'm going to go ahead and tilt down here. It's an impact tool. It seeks bone. In this case, the knee or shin. So the initial movement, if you come slow, I'm here. I may or may not have made contact up here, by the way, on that ulnar bone. It seeks bone, but it's going to come down here. Now, how do you stop that once you're committed? And the answer is you don't. He's going to run into that. Now, is that going to be enough to stop this younger, stronger, faster individual? Maybe, maybe not. I don't count on it. That's why ACSD from the foundational course shows you how to do follow-up strikes to incapacitate so that you can get away. So for here, and the movement is here, and notice it's a step and drag. He represents 12 o'clock. I'm going to move out here and then take out that limb. But notice that once I do that, it puts me in a position to his backside. I'm going to have him turn just slightly. So imagine now he was from over there. I'm just giving you this different angle. I'm now to the backside. So I did this. He stumbled, and one of two things: either it allows me to come here, and I have distance again for me to move, or it allows me to come in with follow-up shots. Now, just because the back of his head is available to me there for a power shot, that doesn't mean I take it. He's not a robot. He's not a zombie. He does this. He goes to turn around again. There it is. Now watch what happens here. Even if you were to block it. That's the only. Now that this is a bone crusher. It seeks bone. Bang. There it is again. So in essence, what I've done is he lunged the first. Bang. There it is. I have the cane. 2 hands out again. Bang. I can do that. See, these are moves that work with your adrenaline response. Right? They're not something that's super elaborate. Anybody can take that. You practice this solo training, you're going to do this. This is what it looks like, so it's not real complicated. If you ever want to find out if the ACSD applications, if it's something you can do, you do the walkthrough portion of it first, which means you're here and you're going to do this movement. Right? So if you can do this movement, you're facing 12 o'clock, I'm going to step and drag, and I'm going to come down. And now with following up on that, can you just bring it up and cut down, almost like you're cutting down with a sword. Now, 2 hands on a cane feels pretty good. Why are we doing that? Younger, faster individual, you have the time now based off of that initial shot to come right back up. Now, when he turns, you're going to go ahead and knock out that limb. Well, why don't you just crack him in the head? Well, because there's consequences to that. And hey, why did you go ahead. Back off, back off, back off. I have strong verbals now, assertive verbals. I'm telling him what to do. Another option for this is when he's coming down is that shoulder clavicle region. The clavicle fractures roughly with about 12 pounds of pressure. 2-handed or 1-handed power shot there with a tool, especially a cane from Cane Masters, which is the highest quality cane. That's going to make a difference here. So we're looking at it here, we're looking at it here, we're looking at it here. Take the second criteria. The second criteria is that we're going to treat this as an impact tool. Now let me show you how you can get in trouble if you violate that criteria. One of the more common strikes that you think of, there's different ways it's referred to in different ways. Some call it, it's a center line strike or a bayonet. Now, what's a bayonet? Think about that for a second. Well, it's going to stab. It's a mass separator, cuts. You're using a cane tip. The issue with this is this guy is a capable guy. And when I go to use that, let's assume that same move that he's doing. He comes in. I do this. He's got another hand. He can stop it. He can grab it. I'm going to his midline. He can see it. Not even that. The hand that's striking, he can just hammer down with it. If he's coming in here and I move, he can just hammer down on the cane. He can do that. So as an initial move, this is going to be tough. Right, and coming here to the abdomen, he trains, right, he's jacked up on adrenaline. I hit him where there's soft tissue, maybe, maybe not. I come up, he can see this coming. Even when you're quick, just with the hands, he gets that out of there, or just slap it out, just slap both hands, and boom, now I find myself in a world of trouble. In other words, I don't want the shots that he can see coming. And then on top of that, I don't want to strike anywhere where it's soft tissue, where he's jacked up on adrenaline, he does abdominal work, he's got muscle there, but that's not what I'm looking for. So rather than that, draws a knife. Wow, this just escalated. Now there's a weapon introduced. Definitely my best friend against that is distance. So ACSD teaches something called the power shot template, and very specifically, it does this in a strategy that is designed to overwhelm. It's going from here and moving, bang, 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 bang. Let's assume that you can't get out of this mess, and there's some type of you're gonna strike the limb. You've heard me say it so many times before, when you take out the limb, you win. And you can hear this almost, tap, 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 tap. And it's uncomfortable because where there's more bone. See, that's just this now. Back off a little bit. Imagine that, boom, right at the sign. Now, notice that the shot allows naturally follow-up. See where I am? And it does so. So if you're practicing this one, now can you do this? In ACSD, that's a power shot number 5 off of the template. Right? That's one way to do it. Now, is there a time and a place for this midline striking? There is. There most certainly is. If you have the distance and you have the tool here with both hands. Because of the reach, when he comes in, now you gotta be you gotta make sure you get there first, right? You gotta make sure you get there first. Up here, that's very disruptive. So if I'm going here now, keep in mind that just because this happens, doesn't mean that he can't follow through. So always be ready to move twice. And your initial shot should leave you in what is a half body. Look at how he comes up. There, see how I moved off. So I'm doing one of two things, either off to the side, half body. So I want you, Jose, just to follow through on the shot, just follow through on the shot, right? So he used the other hand to move it out, but I do this there, he's not gonna stop it, right? It could stop his shot and buy me time to go ahead and follow up. These are powerful, powerful moves that are taking that initial, that are taking the criteria into consideration, and then they all take that hierarchy where the solution or the answer is not always, he comes at me, I strike him in the head. Only you. Are there times that is called for? Yes, but you have to decide the seriousness of that's all, and at the end of the day, your life, right, is in danger. And that's what you're going based off. Now, I told you to stick around to the very end because the most powerful technique, strategy, is all based around, ready, drum roll, your awareness at the end of the day. And we teach to try to keep everything in your 10 and 2 field of vision. So you represent 12 o'clock. Over here would be my 10, my 2. I can see him up to there. Keep walking, Jose behind me. Keep walking behind. I don't see him. He's already at a spot where I don't see him. You don't want that here. So if he was over here and there's something that doesn't feel right about him and he moves and I'm at the counter over here waiting for something, I can't get out of the situation, I'm going to go ahead and try. Just put the knife away because he's making me nervous with the, I hate knife attacks. It's the reason ACSD came to be in the first place. That's another story. But moving from here, he goes ahead and turns. I'm going to track to try to keep him within my 10 and 2 because what I don't want is when he's out of sight completely. Now I'm in the dark, literally. Okay, so you can practice this solo with a partner. We started off with, look at the criteria for these movements. And coming in now, the ability to go ahead and strike here, coming in from the midline or taking out the attacking limb. But take those 3 criteria and together with your awareness, that is the most powerful walking cane self-defense move. And moving forward,